So how much does the design of a competitor comparison landing page matter? And do you need that feature comparison table? Well, in this video, I'm joined by Basu, founder of Powered by Search, and he's been helping B2B SaaS companies make comparison pages for a long time now, and so he really knows his stuff. And today we're looking at a comparison page between Everhour and Harvest, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. Ready? Let's go. All right. Dev, how's it going?
Things are awesome, man. Thanks for having me on.
No, it's a pleasure. Always a pleasure to talk to someone about this stuff. I was really interested in your article as well on the Powered by Search website about the competitor landing pages, and thought it'd be super cool to dive into some of those today. You want to start with the Harvest versus Everhour page?
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Let's dive in.
Okay, let me share my screen here. So here we go. You see this?
Yes.
All right, man. So you want to talk me through some of the things that you're loving about this page?
Yeah, so I think that if you look at the standard competitor comparison page, it's seen as just a table, right? A table of features, goes on forever. There's check marks and X boxes to indicate that the page that you're on is somewhat more competitive, like the software you're looking at is more competitive on a price. We kind of had this theory that all B2B SaaS sells three things. It's either selling speed, certainty, or insight. And it's one of those categories of boxes. Most companies don't even put that much attention into it. What I love about this page is that there's a narrative around it, right? And so these guys did some research around it, and like specifically using words like affordable right in the headline, right? And so places where you can find that type of stuff is looking at Harvest or Everhour. Go look at the G2 or the Capterra pages, looking at the user reviews to see whether or not someone's saying Harvest is good, but we think it's kind of expensive. So there's a whole market out there who wants this level of affordability. This is largely used by a lot of agencies. Obviously, they can't pass on the cost of goods sold as an expense to clients. It's just an internal cost they need to absorb. So that's the first part. The headline, I think, just using the word affordable sticks out. We call it dog whistle copy, where only a dog can hear it in terms of that the whistle. Most people other can't. So they're zeroing in on the right kind of market. And then they have this copy, which is usually, I would say, it's out of the ordinary to even include any kind of copy, especially in a kind of a letter form like this. And so they're talking about most of the articles provide a differentiation just on the features of the tools. We decided to go deeper and make a comparison on the product's principles and concepts, which is a different layer of comparison entirely, right? It goes beyond the comparison table. That's one of the things I really love about that. Mm-hmm. And then they talk about the use case. So you see that third paragraph over there, before we jump from one time tracking tool to another every few months, which is exactly what most of the users do. I mean, we've all been there. We've gone from one project management tool, one to-do app and whatnot, one note-taking app to another. And it just seems to be like this train where, I started using Evernote years ago, left it, went to Notion, went to Rome, and then came back to Evernote, and now I'm on to Rome, which is kind of crazy that ends up happening. But so they're really meeting the customer where they're at, not where they want them to be. And then they're framing what you're going to see below. So the information below will help you understand the principles of Everhour and Harvest, including our vision, ideas, and future. So the positioning is really crisp. It's not just about what you can do with the software, but why we designed it that particular way as well, including use cases. So I just want to pause over there. Does that kind of like give you some context and color as to why this is important?
Yeah, totally. I think I definitely pulled out that before we jump from one time tracking tool to another, it's just a pain point, right? No one wants to get 6 months into a thing, especially when they've maybe asked their boss whether they can buy the thing, and then find out it doesn't do what they actually need it to, and then they've got to have a really embarrassing conversation. It's a reputational hazard of switching. And I think that's kind of an underappreciated thing that a lot of B2B SaaS companies just don't really put across, is that there is this panic about switching. And so let's get right into that and be able to say, hey, we've thought about it. We know it's a problem. So here's how we're going to address that problem, and being proactive. That's so important.
A
And
hundred percent.
I think the other thing that I really, just going back a little bit to what you said right at the start is this kind of letter approach. I love these competitor landing pages a lot of the time because they don't look like they look like they've been designed in like almost a word editor sometimes, just
Yeah.
a text editor, and it's just like how can we get the maximum value without showing you anything? And they've totally managed it. And I think what it does is it forces you as a marketer to focus on the actual message, the things that really provide value, and then yeah, sure, you bring in some visuals later. And just moving on from that top bit here, I actually instantly went, okay, I've scrolled now. I know the kind of the top message. So show me the comparison now. And this GIF that happens right away, I think, is just a really interesting way of doing that. The only thing I would say about this specific GIF is I scrolled to it and I was like, oh, that's a great GIF. That looks brilliant. And then I realized it was the competitor product that they were kind of saying, it doesn't solve the problem. So yeah, there's maybe some clarity there.
100%. And what they could have done a little bit more is frame the use case of what you're looking at. We see this a lot where, so first of all, I think what they've done well over here is using a GIF as opposed to a static image. We see one of the mistakes we see a lot is a static image of the app, whether it's their app or the competitor's app. And there's so much going on that immediately as a user, you have no context. And so a simple way of improving that is, yes, you can use the copy up top to contextualize what you're looking at. Another way of doing it is just to add some arrows or even to doctor the image a little bit, manipulate it with like a magnifying glass to showcase a specific use case or feature that you're supposed to be looking at. But I think one thing that they have done well is just showcase the number of clicks is required in the GIF to be able to get different things done.
Yeah, that's really, I hadn't picked up on that, but actually everything counts, doesn't it? Even whether you appreciate it or not when you're evaluating a product. That's really interesting that you should pick that up. Just going back as well, I think if you carry on scrolling down the page, you quickly see, okay, they've done the comparison here, and you can see when you get to this point, if you've read in depth the copy, you can really see the journey that they're trying to take you on and saying, hey, this is a sales pitch. It's not just a kind of a marketing page where we're really going to take you on a journey here from, you're aware of the problem to this is the solution, and I'm ready to buy it. I think that's super important here.
Yeah,
Um,
totally.
just again scrolling down the page and coming back to the idea of customer pain points, I picked up on this paragraph here, which is full of acronyms, so QA and BA and things like that, and I know what QA is. I'm not 100% what BA is, but it feels like they've listened to what their customers have said and in interviews and then pulled out um, the exact terminology that they've used and placed it in this copy. I really love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think as a page, it really, really works well. And as I said, as you go down it, you just get this feeling like, oh, okay, oh, hey, I've wanted to always, what's this other feature? This one, I've always wanted to, be able to reclassify a meeting or something while I'm in the process of the meeting because it's changed from product development to customer development. Like
100%. Yeah.
that's a feature that many people would want, and being able to do that in that Kanban style there, I think is really cool. Showing off the features for what they are visually.
Yeah, they really emphasize the speed and the ease of use. So the context switching being one of the things that they excel at, reducing that is, and keeping people in a focus mode, especially within whatever project management tool they're already using, is really great.
Right.
One of the areas where I think that they really emphasize and highlight that is, option number one is you can toot your own horn and talk about how amazing your product is. Option number two is you can have your customers do it. One thing they've done slightly differently than many other comparison pages that we've seen is they use customer testimonials, not just touting how amazing the product is, but they specifically used testimonials from people who have used Harvest and then moved over to Everhour. And you can see that up top over there, which I think is really smart because, in this case, this person over here who's from what I would imagine is the ideal client profile, some sort of agency, basically. They're giving 3 reasons why they actually moved over in their own words. And so using this level of customer marketing can be quite powerful, especially for, the people who are looking at the copy or skimming it and going, yeah, but, I'm going to find a separate page on Harvest that's going to talk exactly about Harvest the same way. But the authenticity of the customer testimonial, I think, really shines over here.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, as soon as you are the customer, you identify with that as well. I mean, you probably even look to a certain degree like these people. And that's why we use these images and things. Deb, is there anything else you want to say about this page?
Let's just go all the way down and see if there's anything else, because they have integrations. What else? They've got some more GIFs. Yeah, I mean, they're ending with a call to action. Obviously, this is sometimes, you see this being missed. I think one thing that they could have done a bit better is this call to action at the bottom is usually part of a global, design construct, if you will, right? Most pages on most websites will have some sort of footer-based call to action. One thing that they could have done, which I think Notion actually does a really great job at, if you look at their featured pages, they have a call to action with a sign up box almost every single feature they walk through. So one of the things that they could have done a little bit differently is taken each piece of text or each GIF which talks about a specific pain point and a use case around it, and just said, want to try this out today, get started with Everhour with a 14-day free trial, right? And if they had then looked at where that particular call to action was based, they could actually see further which pain points actually trigger somebody getting started with a trial. And so just like we've seen that inline call to actions will perform better than this type of site-wide design-oriented call to action, because people do develop a sort of blindness to global site nav-based CTAs versus in-content CTAs because there's context around that.
That's a great piece of advice. Totally something I'm going to try out myself. So thanks for that.
Check it out. It works great.
All right. That was great. Everhour versus Harvest. Nice one. All right. See you soon.
Let's do it.
I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did, and thank you for watching. We do loads of videos like this with all sorts of different people from different backgrounds, and also publish growth resources for B2B SaaS companies on our site. That's positivehuman.co, and you can subscribe just by clicking the button below this video. All right, see you soon. Bye.